Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited to finally introduce Rin, my Leachie Gecko. And I say my Leachie, but it's also Arron's Leachie because we have both wanted one for so long. So a little bit of backstory before I get into how I got Rin and all that situation. Arron and I have loved Leachies for years, and we have tried getting a Leachie through like adoption or like a pet only from a breeder that might have a disability or for rehoming for years, and every time we would try it would fall through within minutes because someone would jump in faster than us. Like literally one time there was someone on Craigslist, I'm sorry, not Craigslist, Facebook, rehoming their special needs Leachie, and like within 30 minutes of the post, it was already done deal. And I was like, we had commented like 6 minutes in, so someone literally beat us 6 minutes in. It was insane. Eventually we just stopped pursuing trying to get a Leachie, and after some time, I'll explain the full story, but basically one came to us, and I think that it was kind of like fate, if you believe in that sort of thing, for that to have happened. But anyways, we're just super happy to have her, and we got her back in October. Actually, was it September? Oh my god, it was so long ago. And the reason I didn't introduce her yet on the channel is because I wanted to give her like the enclosure of my dreams, like her full one, like the one that's gonna be for her full grown size, that's bioactive and has the DIY background and all that. I wanted to have the enclosure be representative of the kind of care that I want to give her. Like I didn't want to show off a temporary enclosure or a quarantine enclosure. I wanted to show off her big girl enclosure. So that's what I did. I waited, and eventually she outgrew, well, she was definitely outgrowing her quarantine enclosure. She was only in that for a month, and then she was in her temporary enclosure for a few months, and she very quickly outgrew that. And now she is in her 40-gallon breeder, which is nice, sizable enclosure. And who knows, maybe one day we'll make a new one that's even bigger. For the time being, the 40-gallon breeder is like the enclosure I'm comfortable showing off with my Leachie, and so now it's time to do that. So I'm going to show clips from like when we first got her, like handling her, well obviously when she was out of quarantine, but handling her, feeding her in her temporary enclosure, just interacting with her over the past few months. I'm going to include those clips, and I'll include a voiceover of like her backstory and how we got her and how we met and all that stuff. And then after that, I will show you guys her now, bless you Sam, and her current enclosure. So without further ado, meet Rin. So this clip I want to give a little bit of like backstory to because she's a lot smaller here than you'll see later. This was 30 days after we brought her home when she came out of quarantine, and here's Arron socializing with her. He's very excited about it because he absolutely just loves Leachies and he loves Rin. In this video, Rin was just about a year old because we got her in September and she was 11 months old, and this video is from October when she was about a year old. And right now she's a year and a half old, so you'll see there's quite a bit of growth in the later clips, but here she is after quarantine in her beautiful Leachie glory, and Arron's just socializing with her. So when she came out of quarantine, she went into the pet room and she was in a temporary enclosure while I built her 20-gallon long standing upright, which is what she went into next, and you'll see that in a few clips. But let me just talk a little bit about where she came from. So Rin was born from a breeder or at a breeder's. You may be familiar with them. They are Rin the Gecko on Instagram. Now I know people might automatically jump to that comment section and be like, oh my god, I thought you didn't support breeders. Okay, stop, slow your roll for a minute. I was contacted by the person who owns that account, and they said, I have a gecko that had like a little bit of a spotty egg, which can be indicative of a calcium problem with the egg, and also has a slight underbite, and she's doing great, you know, but she's like not growing as fast as her siblings. I would like her to go to a pet only home and not be bred. And when she reached out to me via Twitter, I tell you, I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I was like, yes, immediately, without even like consulting Arron. I was like, we want a Leachie. We've wanted a Leachie for 3 years. We waited and waited for the right opportunity, and it just literally came to us. And that's just how I feel like life goes sometimes. You know, you have to just let it come to you. So in this clip, you can see Arron trying to get something off her tail. How cute. But she's about to go in her 20-gallon long standing upright. Anyway, so I was able to see baby photos of her. I was able to know her weight. I was able to know what day she was born. I got to see photos of her after she hatched out of the egg, and it's just really incredible because I don't really get that with a lot of my pets because they come from rehoming situations. But the utmost care was put into raising her, into socializing her, and I could not have asked for a better Leachie. Like, she's so well behaved, she's so well cared for, and she has grown a lot while she's been here, and you can't even tell that she had an underbite. You can't tell that at all. Like, she looks completely normal, and she's grown a lot. Like, when you see in clips in a minute, oh my god, it's insane. So here's Arron trying to put her in her new enclosure, which has plenty of hiding areas. And she, of course, just dives right into the middle. But she was in this enclosure for a few months. So about a month after she got out of quarantine, up until about, I don't know, like a month before I post this video, maybe more, she was in that 20 gallon. As you can see there, she's eating. She's so personable. Like, she was not afraid to eat in front of me. She would take food off of tongues, and she still does. She vocalizes at night, which is amazing. And she's just, like, not afraid of us, and also not aggressive toward us. So, like, we can handle her, we can observe her. She doesn't run away from us, she doesn't bite, thankfully. Like, it's been a really great experience, and if you are looking for a Leachie, I would totally recommend Muriel the Gecko on Instagram because, like, she's so well behaved and she's just in amazing health. So here she is in her new enclosure, which is the one you'll see a tour of in a minute. Like, her cute little feet. And there she's eating a super worm. Oh, look at that. And then here in a second, you'll see her very cleaned out bowl. So she didn't eat for the first couple weeks when she went in her new enclosure, which is normal. But she went to town on food when she finally came around to it. And she has been ever since. She just ate a dubia roach last night. Okay, everyone, it is enclosure tour time. So Rin is in a 40-gallon breeder standing upright with a custom I Heart Geckos door on the front that allows the aquarium to be used upright. And we're going to start with substrate. This is a bioactive enclosure. The substrate is Josh's Frog's ABG mix, as well as organic topsoil and leaf litter. And the cleanup crew is dwarf white tropical isopods and springtails. The enclosure also features a drainage layer of hydroton or hydroclay balls, as well as a barrier in between that and the substrate to keep it separated. These are two plants that the enclosure features. One is a golden pothos and the other one is a snake plant that she has abused with her big body. It used to be standing all the way upright and now it's a little askew. And then they're just planted directly into the substrate, and then there's a cork hide right here, and then there are two philodendron cordatum, and they are planted into the background via planting cups, which make sure if you use planting cups that they have drainage. That is a hide, and it actually opens up to the bottom of the enclosure. And then there's also a hide that's up here, and just like the other one, it opens to the top and the bottom of the enclosure, which is really great for her because it allows her to get around the enclosure in secrecy. There's also a heat mat with a thermostat in the left one, so she has like a nice warm place, and it creates a nice gradient temperature as well. So there she is back there. It's going to focus on her. Hey girl, hey. She's hiding in her favorite hide right now, which is this little cork round right there. There's a cork round in front of it as well, but she doesn't use that as much. She likes to sit on top of that one. And then, of course, there is a DIY background once it focuses. Hello, thank you. The DIY background is basically how everything's put together with expanding foam, silicone, eco-earth, the whole 9 yards. Here's just another quick overview of the enclosure. The background, I have never built a video on how I make these backgrounds, but you'll see them across a lot of my enclosures. It's basically just, like I said, expanding foam, silicone, multiple pieces of cork. Sometimes you can use driftwood or rocks. And then you're going to just use the expanding foam to build the background. Then you're going to carve it. Then you're going to cover it in silicone. Then you're going to cover it in eco-earth and sphagnum moss. That's all it is. It sounds like a lot of work, and that's because it is. But the final product is just amazing, and I highly recommend DIY backgrounds. They're just so enriching. They're so beautiful. They just allow you to have a really cohesive design of the enclosure. But she's really enjoying it because she can just tuck herself away in all these little hides, which I absolutely love. And if you have any questions about the enclosure, aside from the background, because I will make a video about how I made these someday, but if you have any questions except for the background, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed meeting Rin. I hope you guys are just as excited to introduce her or welcome her to the channel as I am. I've shared her on Patreon for a long time, and I've shared her on Twitter, and I've shared her on Instagram, but I haven't shared her here yet. Anyways, I'm just really excited to have finally introduced her to this channel, and I hope you guys were excited to have met her. Okay. If you guys liked this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and also if you're interested in subscribing, please do so and hit the notification bell if you're interested. I always feel weird like asking for that at the end or the beginning of the video. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.